A Canadian CM Technologies has succeeded in producing a compound that increases the efficiency of large and small car engines and saves the amount of fuel used, so that it actually becomes possible to cover long distances with a smaller amount of fuel.
The Bahrain International Circuit witnessed the practical experiment supervised by the Supreme Council for Environment, which involved placing the compound inside the fuel tanks of 2 trucks to determine its feasibility and positive impact on heavy and light vehicle engines. Mohammed Al-Rashidat has the details.
Perhaps the moon of the 17th of Ramadan will witness the efficiency of the product that will end everything that occupies the minds of drivers for their vehicles, whose driving may not be pleasant if they consume too much fuel, and the series of engine complaints is repeated, and even if they were a reason for violating the purity of the environmental atmosphere through their toxic emissions that are also harmful to human health. A new compound that a Canadian CM Technologies worked to prove the eligibility of its product by testing its effectiveness on 2 trucks powered by diesel fuel, as the compound was placed in their tanks before the operation process to allow the minutes a chance to mix with the diesel element inside them, so that the engines start accompanied by measuring devices towards recording the difference that the product may make in the engines and filters of various vehicles in terms of their smoothness and efficiency, not to mention monitoring its feasibility in rationalizing their fuel consumption. This compound has proven its ability to improve engine efficiency and reduce the volume of toxic emissions coming out of them by 13%, and it also succeeded in saving the fuel used by 12%, in addition to reducing the rate of rust that may affect the internal engine parts. Implementing the data of this international practical experiment in Bahrain as a 4th station, specifically on the track of its international circuit, Canada, America, and China had preceded it, which is only evidence of the scale of the facilities provided by the relevant government agencies in the kingdom as a radical step that tackles the causes of environmental pollution coming from car and truck exhausts.
Bahrain is the best, and it is one of the most supportive countries for the product and for allowing us to conduct experiments on its land, where the Supreme Council for Environment was one of our most prominent supporters.
The product, just by adding a small amount of it to the fuel, whether it is diesel or petrol, makes improvements. And these improvements, whether in the emission of gases harmful to the environment, it reduces them significantly. It preserves the engine because it truly has features of this kind. And it also allows for covering longer distances with a smaller amount of fuel.
The launch of this ideal mixture in the markets won't be far off if it gets approved, and vehicle owners will simply need to head to the nearest gas station, just as they usually do, to fill up their tanks with this remarkable drink. That is sure to make a truly noticeable difference.
As soon as we submit the reports prepared by the expert, we brought from Bureau Veritas to BAPCO. We hope that the matter won't take long and that we'll then start the practical steps to integrate this product into the petroleum production stages.
The properties of this compound, which cannot be limited to a single aspect, may carry many benefits aimed primarily at the purity of the environment for the Bahraini people. Experiments have conclusively proven the effectiveness of a streamlined compound that will save heavy and light vehicles from their indigestion of petroleum derivatives, as it will undoubtedly be a lifeline for them, their lifespan, and their fuel consumption, as well as an environment that will be free from the turmoil of emissions in its surroundings. For Bahrain TV, Mohammed Al-Rashidat.